Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we've got a best of 3 series. I'm going to cast the whole series between PainUser and WhiteRa. You should know both of these players by now. I've cast games with both of them. PainUser, of course, is an American Terran player. He's the yellow one down here on the bottom left of Blistering Sands. And WhiteRa is a Ukrainian Protoss player. He's the blue one up here on the top right. Both of these guys were at MLG DC. That's actually where this series is from. If you've seen these games already, too bad for you. I'm going to cast them anyway. And PainUser is actually going to be going to MLG Dallas tomorrow, November 5th. And that event is going to last all weekend long, November 5th, 6th, and 7th. So make sure you get to watch some of those games on MLGpro.com. They'll have the stream. And you can actually buy a high-definition stream for like $10 for the whole weekend. Pretty good deal. I'll be there at the event, so of course I won't be watching from home, but MLG Dallas is going to have a ton of great players, including the 2 previous winners, WhiteRa and Huck. Also flying in for the event are players like TLO, Phoenix, Sen, Jinro, HeyPro, Nazgul. Sock is going to be back. He played and got 3rd place in MLG Raleigh. Did not show up for DC, but he is back for Dallas, so that's pretty exciting. Select, of course, is going to be there. He's the 2nd highest seed, I believe, for the event. And Huck is actually the number 1 seed going into the event because he got 1st and 3rd. But, yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy. But now, back to the actual game. PainUser, I hardly ever see him do anything other than the very standard Terran build, which is, of course, Depot, Barracks, Refinery, Orbital Command. So as soon as this Barracks finishes, you can expect to see that Orbital Command start right away. And if he doesn't do it, then I'll look dumb. But there he does it. Always predictable for him. But WhiteRa, sponsored by duckload.com. It's actually a file sharing website, kind of like Mega Upload or something like that. He actually did the very standard Protoss build. So that is Pylon Gateway Refinery. Whoops, clicked on something I shouldn't have. Pylon Gateway Refinery, Cybernetics Core. Well, another pylon, then Cybernetics Core. Actually, the 2nd pylon is kind of up to the player. Usually they do build the 2nd pylon before the Cybernetics Core. Sometimes they build it after, depending if they want to rush a stalker out or not. 2nd gas coming actually pretty quick for WhiteRa though, and not for PainUser. So PainUser actually adding on a tech lab onto that 1st barracks, cranking out a Marauder, and getting a 2nd barracks pretty quickly as well. Could be doing that as a result of seeing that 2nd gas. That means that WhiteRa is going to be playing for either Robotics Facility or a Stargate, and if PainUser can get enough Tier 1 units out, he can actually do some early aggression and maybe have some success there. So Marauders out of this 1st barracks, maybe a reactor being tagged on to the 2nd barracks after it finishes. We'll have to see. He's getting another supply depot now, so that actually would suggest a reactor to me. We'll just see in a minute. But WhiteRa does get that 1st Zealot out to chase away PainUser's scouting SCV, so PainUser is not going to see that 2nd gateway go down. Warp gate research is about a 1/3 of the way done. What's he got? Another stalker there too. So PainUser running for his life. He is going to see this probe standing guard at the Xel'Naga Tower, so he knows that WhiteRa has vision over there. He is adding a reactor onto the 2nd barracks. And now adding a 3rd barracks, probably going to get another tech lab. It'll probably be tech labs all the way. Would not be surprised to see a 4th and 5th barracks come up as well. Doesn't look like PainUser is planning for any kind of expansion strategy, so probably just going to be getting mass Tier 1 units. Like I said earlier, that Zealot does go down there. And now the Stalker out by himself against 2 Marauders and a Marine. They're just going to traipse their way over to the Xel'Naga Tower, try and get that free probe kill. But WhiteRa is too slick for that. He gets that guy out of there with plenty of time. And PainUser heads on home. So WhiteRa getting that sentry to block the ramp. He probably suspects that PainUser is going to be doing some early aggression, and actually WhiteRa, instead of going for a robotics facility or a Stargate, is actually going for 5 warp gates, no expansion, dropping a proxy pylon much closer to PainUser's base, cutting that walking distance in half. So PainUser and WhiteRa both playing with these very Tier 1 heavy builds. Protoss Tier 1 generally does quite well against Terran Tier 1 unless they've got Stimpack already researched. It's about halfway done now. Combat shields, of course, would be another great addition, but it looks like PainUser's just spending his gas on a Ghost right now. When did that Ghost Academy get in there? I didn't even see that. I'm sorry. So PainUser is taking up a little bit. Got that Ghost Academy. He's got several Marauders and Marines waiting at his ramp. It looks like PainUser is going to try and, or sorry, WhiteRa is going to start shooting down these destructible rocks in the back of PainUser's base, but he does see everything that's going on. He does not budge from the front. He doesn't want there to be any kind of break-in while he's distracted back here, so we'll have to see which route WhiteRa takes. He dropped a pylon out front there, and I don't believe PainUser's seen it. No, he has not. So looks like PainUser is going to respond over here to the imminent threat. He does not have enough energy for an EMP. I'm going to keep this Ghost selected so you can watch and see if he does get an EMP off or not. Those rocks are just about to go down. The Ghost with only 72 energy. WhiteRa does push up the front. He's probably going to start warping in from this pylon and the one at the front very soon. PainUser pulls about 6 SCVs there. Lots of force fields go down. That EMP did land. There you can see several Stalkers and a Zealot, or actually several Stalkers and a Sentry without shield there. PainUser actually on the ropes a little bit. Look at the health of all of his units compared to WhiteRa's. He's able to escape and get those shields regenerating very quickly, and of course warp in from 5 different warp gates here in the back. All these SCVs still trying to do some help, but they're going to die rather quickly to the Sentries and Stalkers. PainUser still has quite a lot of units left, but they are in very low health compared to WhiteRa's, and of course he's able to warp these in very quickly, chrono boost those gateways, and get even more units out very quickly. That Ghost is going to go down. WhiteRa with a 55 food advantage over 37, and those 2 pylons there keeping PainUser pinned in his base. WhiteRa in the meantime not doing anything but warping in units. Very simple, very effective strategy. Looks like PainUser might be able to combat this. He is getting combat shields and more Marauders and Marines, but actually I don't know, because his economy was hurt kind of bad when he pulled all those SCVs. Yeah, he's down 11 workers there, 29 probes to 18 SCVs, and of course WhiteRa with just a food advantage overall means that PainUser is going to have to be struggling to catch up. He's going to have to crank out SCVs just to catch up, and if WhiteRa stays on top of his economy, I don't think PainUser will be able to catch up, but all these Marauders and Marines do have stim, they have concussive shells, they've got combat shields. PainUser's given himself the best possible chance to try to win this. He's pulling lots of SCVs here. One force field keeps 4 or 5 of them locked out. Another few force fields up here keep these 5 units pretty much out of the battle. They're only able to shoot those Zealots, and since all those SCVs basically crumbled, PainUser, even if he holds this off with his few remaining Marines and Marauders, not going to be able to win the game. So PainUser does GG, and WhiteRa takes that first one with, I wouldn't even say a fake, kind of a fake. He had one gateway in vision of PainUser when he was scouting around. Can I actually take his vision? Here we go. I'll take PainUser's vision. He only ever saw one gateway, so he was kind of faked out, kind of hurt by his own lack of scouting, but WhiteRa, of course, went up to 5 gateways and pretty much just rolled over PainUser with some well-placed proxy pylons and constant support. Now on to Game 2.